Welcome to Nevin's Lab. Today we're having a look at the Wantok. It's a dual 18650 parallel mechanical mod. It's made from solid brass, Australian brass. It has silver contacts, silver switch. It's got a really simple battery mechanism. We'll see that in the close-ups. There you go. If you like the way that looks, carry on watching. If that's not to your taste, because I'm sure this isn't going to be to everybody's taste, then move on. Got it here with the over one dripper sitting on top. Basically I think it looks great with everything on, but I'm a bit of a brass fan, so brass does it for me. There's just one niggle with this mod as standard when it comes. The spring for the switch is extremely heavy. You really have to push quite hard to make the contact in the switch, and it feels a little bit like it won't fire every time, and that's purely because of the amount of pressure you have to put on to make it fire. I've done an upgrade. I've put magnets into the switch and I've now got a very soft touch. The close-ups for this video also show how to do the magnet upgrade. I have spoken to the modder. They're interested in the process or the method for doing the upgrade, and I'll be sharing this video with them. I'm not sure if they're going to make the upgrade available as part of the package or upgrade the mods before they send them out, but they certainly seemed interested in finding out what I'd done. So not really much else to say. All of the detail is in the close-ups, so we'll have a quick vape and go straight into the close-ups. Right, so this is how it arrived to me from the Philippines, direct from the modder. Number one on top, because mine is serial number one. And inside the box is a very simple little box. There was some other packing in here. I've since lost that. Came in a plastic baggie, and that's basically it. You get the mod. Didn't come with batteries or anything. I fitted my own batteries. So that is essentially what you get. I think it's gorgeous. So on the top you have Wantok and the serial number 001 on this one. First thing to comment on, it's got this little cross feature on here, but it doesn't have slots for airflow. So although it has that sort of cross design that you see on some 510 connectors, they're usually with slots in for air. This isn't for ATIs which require air from underneath. Although a bit, and you can actually draw air through that hole. So if you put an ATI on it that required air from underneath, it would get air. So that's it. This is a little Delrin piece, and next comment, it does move around. I guess the tolerances on that are to allow for any slight differences in the machining so that they will all fit. Doesn't really bother me particularly. You know, you don't walk around shaking your mod, so yeah, that's just something to comment on. This I love, the way the batteries go in. You simply turn this knurled screw here, and that gives you access to the batteries. And oh, there you go. and you can see there silver plated, silver anodized, I believe he said, on brass. I don't know if that goes for the springs as well. The springs are quite firm, good conductivity there, and so you put your batteries in and you simply screw that on. It is absolutely smooth as you like, nice and firm, and you screw it right down. No adjustment required, no messing about with battery rattle or anything like that. You just put your batteries in, screw it down, you're good to go. So that's putting batteries in, and for the most part that's all you would need to do. So you can see inside there the contacts. We're going to get down to that in a minute when we take it all apart, and again they are silver plated. The dimensions of the mod: it is 24.9, so 25 millimeters wide across that way. It is 47 millimeters across the top that way, and a fairly hefty but not huge, let's get that straight, there we go, 90.6 millimeters in that direction. So that's your dimensions, and now we'll take it apart. Got my little set of Allen keys here, and I believe that is the one that fits, just in case you want to know what to get, because it doesn't come with the tool to do it. So that is a 2.46, so that'll be a 2.5 mil Allen key that you'll need to get to take it apart. I suggest that you probably will want to get yourself an Allen key to take it apart so that you can clean the contacts, and especially if you want to do the switch upgrade that I'm about to show you. I'm just going to take the top off. You can also take the bottom off in the same way as I'm about to here. It's very simple to take apart and put together. It has these little pins that fit into slots in there. I don't know if you can see there, the little slot, little groove. So that pin fits into the groove like so. That goes over the top, and you put the screws into each end. Take those out, put them to one side, don't lose them. This can be removed, and you can take, if you undo this, you can take the tubes apart. It comes completely apart, separate, two separate tubes, and the bottom piece is separate, and you can give it a good clean and a polish, as you can see I have done. But I'm not going to take the rest apart. What I want to show you is the switch mechanism, how to take it out and how to upgrade it to magnets. So get ourselves a little screwdriver here. Now you don't need to take these two screws out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so I get nice and close. Right. Don't need to take these two screws out, it's not necessary. These four around the edge, yes, take those out. And keep those safe. Now this switch section, that whole peak, they said that the insulators inside are peak, so this peak section with the switch mechanism and you can just push that out from the other side. So if we get a screwdriver, push it from the underside, you'll see that the switch mechanism lifts up. Just push it out so you can grab a hold of it and pull it out. And that is basically your switch. It is so simple. And in there is a little Delrin switch piece that, gosh, I've gone out of shot there, which slots into the hole. Like so. So that's very simple. You can leave that where it is. This is the piece that we want to take apart, and the offending part of the switch is that little kiddie there. That spring is a really firm, I don't know if you can see that, get it back in shot. Okay, that spring is really firm. If I squeeze the spring, and you can see it's marked on my finger quite easily with just a couple of squeezes. So that's what makes the switch so heavy. All I'm going to do is put some magnets opposing into that hole, and that will then improve the feel of the throw. Essentially all it does is connect your positives across on this little hinged piece to touch there. 3 magnets, and these are, if I can measure them without them sticking to the vernier, 4mm by, I believe, 2mm. Yeah, so they are 3 4mm by 2mm magnets, and the face against this finger here should be opposing. This is where it gets tricky. How many attempts I'm going to do at this, I don't know. Right, let's put that in there, and let's hold it down with something non-magnetic. So I'm going to hold it down so that it doesn't jump out and stick to my magnets, and I'm going to push that face on top over the hole. Right, now you'll see that, oh, it's going to turn around. Gotcha. This is tricky on camera because it's quite a delicate operation, but I've got that magnet held in there and it is opposing. So while I'm holding it in there, close the switch down like that. There we go. So I've now got the switch. So you can see that magnet is pushing out. Hold that switch in place and simply hook it back in to the mod like that, and push it down, and that's it. Your switch is now a super soft touch magnetic switch. It really is, it makes all the difference. Like the switch now is nice and soft throw. It pushes out reliably every time. It doesn't auto fire, it doesn't stick or anything, but it's a really nice soft push, and you can get a really good contact. What I found with the heavy spring, you have to push it so hard that sometimes you weren't getting a really good contact. So that's the upgrade for that. There is one other slight improvement that I also made, and I'm going to just show that to you. The only other slight concern I've got, I suppose if you want to call it that, is this, that essentially the springing for the adjustment for different length 510s is really in the tension of this metal strip here. So I'll show you that. You take this screw out, and you can see that's depressed. You see how that's bent slightly and that's depressed. My concern is that over a long period of time that metal is going to weaken and eventually lose all of its spring. So I'm just going to take that out, and you can see it's slightly deformed. It's quite a soft piece of metal. What I'm going to do is take the spring, the nice heavy spring that came out of the switch, and pop it in that hole there. I'm doing that off camera again. And so I've popped the spring into the hole inside the switch there, and that will help push back on the metal of your 510 connector. Very simply push that in there, and now that spring is helping to push back the metal. You can see that. So as I push down on that, the spring is pushing it back. So that's just going to help to make sure that it has a bit more life. And you do notice the difference. Well, I certainly noticed the difference. I took that spring out to put the mod back to its original state for this video, and I noticed straight away that the atties didn't feel like they were going down as firmly as with that spring in. Take care with this screw. Don't tighten it too much because it is going into this peak insulator and you don't want to strip the threads. So I'm just going to go off camera here, have some fun and games with these magnets once more, and we'll put it all back together. And we'll put the screws back in. Again, I'm not doing them massively tight, just nipping them down so it stays together. I've not had any problems with them coming loose or anything like that, and you really just need to take it apart once in a while to clean up these contacts and clean up that switch contact if it's starting to misfire at all. Got a stray magnet there. Right, and that piece I just keep it in the drawer somewhere. To put it back together, take your brass pin with the screw thread and place it in the slot. Okay, let's zoom that out just a little bit. Take the mod top and put it on top. It will go either way. It absolutely doesn't matter. Everything's identical. Oh, yeah. Don't forget your Delrin piece. I actually went ahead and made myself a little wooden one because I think wood and brass goes together rather well, and I didn't like the Delrin bit. I didn't like it, I just thought it would look nicer with the wood one. So I'm going to put my wood one in. It's not perfect, but it gives it a little natural touch. Put that on top. and with the Allen key, 2.5mm Allen key again, screw that down, same on the other side. Put a couple of batteries in, let's pop those in. And so simple. Obviously make sure those contacts are nice and clean on there, and it's so simple. You just screw that down and that's it. The mod is back together. We'll put the atomizer back on and just test fire that switch. That is just feather touch now, not having to jam it in as I had to before. Superb. Okay, so we'll come back up top. I'll tell you a little bit more about where it comes from, how much it costs, and finish off. Got it here with the Mutation XV4 sitting on top, and just to give you an indication of with the switch upgrade, a light touch and it's firing straight away very nicely. That's a 0.2 build I got in there. Really, what should I say? What I've forgotten to say is it's quite a heavy beast. It is solid brass, you can't get away from that, and it comes in at just over 400 grams, 412 grams I believe, in weight with batteries. So no shrinking violet, definitely, in terms of the weight. In terms of size, I've got an SX Mini here, and as you can see, if I just line it up, it hides behind the SX Mini quite well, so it's similar in size to the SX Mini if you want a size comparison. What more can I say? Well, where do you get it? You get it direct from the modders, the manufacturers at present. It is sent out of the Philippines. I've been dealing with a chap called Ramil Domo Doroteo and a lady called Donna Dampa Castillo. Both of them lovely people, responsive. They get back to you when you communicate with them, and I didn't have any problems with ordering and receiving my mod. They are looking for distributors around the world. I believe they have one in Canada. They may have more by the time this video goes out. I'm not sure. Price $185 US is the price for the mod. That's retail. They are offering a lower price for distributors, so if there are any distributors out there that are interested in stocking this mod, and by all means get in touch with them. You get in touch with them on Facebook, and I will put links into the description to the Veratech Facebook page and provide the names of the two individuals, Ramil and Donna, so that you can get directly in touch with them if you're interested in purchasing one of these. Not really much more else to say, other than this is my favourite mech mod by a long way. It's not one that I carry around with me. I tend to carry regulated mods around with me if I'm out and about at work, etc. I save my mechs for at home, and this is the one that I keep picking up. I do have a number of tubes, etc., but I just love it. It's different. I hand check this one all the time, so nothing really more to say other than we'll have a quick vape, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much. Cheerio.